Hi everyone. I wanted to do a pick a card reading specifically for those of us going through a transitionary period in our lives. I'm going through my own transitionary period, and I thought, what better than to do readings for others in the same boat? So if you feel lost, confused, in limbo, and you're not really sure what to do, where you're at, this reading may have some sort of clarity for you. So the intention for this video is just to give people, kind of a snapshot of where they're at, along with some guidance on what to follow up with. So before us, we have three piles. The first pile is this lapis lazuli. Second pile is this carnelian, and the third pile is garnet. So just take a moment and pick your pile, and I'm going to do a one card preliminary reading just so you can make sure that the reading resonates with you. So go ahead and just take a moment, and then we're going to start. Okay, so for pile number 1, I'm just tuning in. Okay, so this is for someone who is self-aware on their journey. They're realizing that they're being offered some sort of opportunity or a new path in their life. And they're sitting there thinking, is this what I want? I know it's happening. I'm aware of it happening. It's this new crossroads opportunity for me. I've already been putting in energy into these other 3 cups on the ground. I've already built things here for me. And now I have this new opportunity to do something different, something out of left field, something that I might not have really realized before, or it's been kind of floating around in my mind. And I'm not really sure whether I should, really be chasing it. So you're doing a lot of contemplation. You're sitting down and you're really meditating on this. You're thinking deeply about your options. You're thinking about the consequences. If I switch gears now, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my life? And you're really asking your heart, is this other path really going to make me feel like I'm happier, I'm on the right path? Is it going to give me that type of like growth and expansion, right? That feels good, that you really feel like you're following, your calling, your higher self. It really feels like for pile number 1, you're kind of sitting on a bit of a nest egg. You've built something for yourself over the course of your life, and now you're thinking, well, I could go this other direction, but what am I going to do with everything I've built? Is it going to come with me? Is there going to be a transition where I can kind of merge this into this new opportunity? Or is this new opportunity really just going to be kind of this new, different experiment where I don't really know where it's going to take me? I have no idea whether it's going to, disrupt my daily routine, and it's going to show me something very different that you may have to risk things that you've built to follow this calling. So you're thinking very long and deep about it. And I feel like you you're just kind of sitting there waiting to figure it out. You're not really taking any action. You're like, I know exactly what's happening. I know there's a new opportunity, and do I take it or not? So that is the first pile. Okay. So if that resonates with you, we're going to go ahead and do the first reading here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. So it looks like you have been almost doing something like on autopilot. You know, you've been doing the things that you thought you needed to do. It feels like you've been doing them routinely for quite a while, that it's almost just become this like plug and play like narrative of your life. And it's something which has almost gotten you into this routine that has made you fall into a level of unconsciousness. You know, it's like when you're driving and your like subconscious takes over and you kind of lose track of time, and then you come back to your awareness and you're kind of at your destination and you're like, oh, how did I get here? It's like that, right? You're on autopilot for so long, your brain gets so used to the pattern that it just does the pattern for you, and your mind is like either present or somewhere else, and before you know it, you've done your whole day, and you're at the end of the day and you're like, well, that's another day down, I'm going to get up and do it all over again. So you've been doing this for quite a while. It feels like it's been a routine for enough time that you have enough muscle memory to really just relax into it. I feel like for some of you, it's given you the results that you've needed to just keep doing it. And for others, maybe even the majority of you, it's not really given you the type of results where you really feel like you're alive anymore, right? You're not waking up, being present, excited to do something. You're just like, well, another day, let's go do this. I'm good at it. I know what I'm doing. Let me just keep doing it. I know what I'm going to get out of it. Whatever I'm going to get out of it's going to keep me going. So you've been doing the same thing for a while. And I feel like to whatever degree you feel comfortable with it, you've kind of been there, done that, mastered it. Right? That doesn't mean that you're necessarily excellent at whatever you're doing, but it does mean that you've mastered it to the degree where it's like, well, it's just that thing that I know how to do, and I'm just, continuing to do it because I don't really feel like I need to do anything else. But it has led you into kind of a sort of like a disillusionment feeling where you're like, well, is this all that life has to bring? And am I going anywhere with this? Like I know I'm reaping enough like benefits for me to continue a lifestyle that I currently have or that I'm growing. But is this really living? Am I doing something worthwhile that's going to bring me to where I'm actually going to feel fulfilled in my life? And I feel like it's very mixed. It's like maybe some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, but for the most part, you're just kind of stuck on repeat. And I feel like you've built a life around this. You've built a routine around this. If you have, close friends and family, you've put them on a schedule to rotate around this routine. And your lifestyle it's pretty solid. You've just been doing it for such a long time that this is just who you are, and people know you as this, and this has kind of become your identity. Like when people look at you, they're like, oh, this is who you are, and this is what I expect of you, and this is kind of where I see you in the next couple of years. I feel like pile one can be predictable. They can be like disciplined. They can continue to do something for a long period of time. You know, pile one, I feel like you can be reliable. People can rely on you. They rely on you to show up. They rely on you to do the job, to do whatever, you know, they're paying you to do. And they're like, yeah, you're producing, and that's what we expected of you, and keep doing what you're doing. And it feels like, to a certain degree, it's playing it safe, and you're continuing to kind of walk along the timeline of your life, and life is kind of passing you by, and you're doing, quote unquote, the right things, and things should be looking up. And yet you still feel like you're partially unconscious doing it. You don't really feel alive anymore. You don't really feel motivated to the degree where you feel like, you know, inspired thought or action is coming to you, where you feel like you have the energy to take action on it. It just feels like, well, I've been doing this. I can do it. Let's keep going. So that's really what the sun reversed is telling us here. It's not that you're not unhappy, but you're also not truly satisfied. You're just bipping along, you know? And you know, for a lot of people, that's what life is, right? You're just bipping along. You're in your job, you have your obligations, you have your family obligations, your work life obligations, and you just do them to the best of the degree, and then you try to create a pattern out of it so you can, you know, create some free time. And before you know it, you've been doing it for years. So moving on to the Page of Cups here, this is really where your intuitive side is coming to the surface. You may have buried this for quite a while. That's why it's coming up reversed. It's like it's a bit hidden in your subconscious. It's really a call to take action. You know, the Page of Cups isn't necessarily like a full action card, like a Knight of Wands. You know, and knights are a lot of action. Pages are like inspired thought that it's leading you to take action. So the Page of Cups really revolves around these emotional, creative, intuitive hits where you feel drawn inwardly to create or to, you know, do something different, manifest something out of the ordinary, like break the routine, play a little, really tap into your inner child. Page of Cups is like the kid that is happy playing with the Play-Doh and making new things happen, and it just brings them so much joy, right? You're playing with your Legos, you're building something new each time, you feel invigorated, you don't know where your imagination is going to lead you, and before you know it, you know, you've created something, you've created something really interesting and different, right, that you can be proud of. So the Page of Cups is really calling you inwardly to connect with it. Because it's repressed, you may not fully have confidence in it yet. It may not be something that, when it comes to your conscious mind, you're really taking it very seriously, but it's going to be pulling you. It's going to be a draw. Every time you kind of have these moments of, you know, maybe like relaxation or lucidity where you're not really stuck in the rut, you're going to have these, you know, ideas that come up that's like, hey, have you done this yet? Have you thought about being creative? Have you thought about doing a new goal? Have you thought about taking action on this? Like, what can we do that can make you feel, you know, tuned in, again, tuned into your body, tuned into your life? What can we do to make you feel like you're actually living life and life isn't just passing you by, right? So the Page of Cups is really a calling to go inwardly and to sit with yourself and to feel that inner playfulness, the playfulness of, you know, your inner child, the playfulness of your inner calling. And I feel very strongly that this isn't something that is fleeting. I'm using the example of, an inner child, but, don't dismiss don't dismiss the power of an inner child and, your inner children. Like they're very powerful. And the more you repress it, sometimes the louder it'll get, and sometimes not in the best ways, right? So when you have these intuitive hits, these intuitive callings, it's going to keep pulling at you until you sit with it. And I really feel like once you start connecting with it, if you haven't already done it, once you start connecting with it, you'll realize there's something really there's something really real under all of this. There is a real calling. There is a real inspired action to take. It's just waiting for you to connect with it. I feel like a lot of what's coming up is also to create. A lot of us can be consumers, and it's so easy to get into the rut of just consuming and working, consuming. And this is like, hey, are we gonna switch our gears here? This is about what we can create. This is what we can produce to the degree that it actually makes us feel alive. Okay, interesting. I feel like this calling is actually coming from a higher calling of a universal place where, we're in a revolutionary time, right? And so a lot of us are being woken up. A lot of us are being called to wake up from, being unconscious in the system and to actually start living purposeful lives and doing things that are calling us. So there is soul purpose here. There's like, hey, you came down here to do something and it is trying to connect with you. And it's like, this is your calling. This is your window of opportunity to connect with yourself and start actually putting like your hands in the clay and start molding things. And I feel like when you start on this journey, you're gonna get into the mode of playing, being open-minded, trying new things. There's a lot of experimentation here. There's like being open-minded to things that that you're already drawn to, but things that'll also put you out of your comfort zone, like maybe going and meeting new people, taking a class, that maybe have intimidated you before. It's like getting out there, getting into the world, putting your hands in the clay, starting to mold, meet people, try things, fail, try more. It's like that kind of energy that's pulling you. And it's pretty clear. I mean, the voice is coming off like it's becoming louder for a lot of you. So maybe like me, sometimes we don't want to listen to these intuitive calls because life can already be so challenging, but it's becoming louder and louder, and it's like, are you going to listen to us now or not? I feel like there's a lot of grounded energy flowing through you that you can tap into the earth, and this is going to help ground you when you come into this time of interconnectedness to sit with yourself and start being pulled in the directions that you really want to be pulled in. Like these are real parts of you that really want to express themselves and try different things and try new things. And this is your soul leading you to, creating something that's gonna not only, better your life, but most likely better the lives of other people too, right? Even if it's just art can bring joy. Or if it's something else like, going out there and helping people, like it's just a win-win when you start doing those things. Yeah, it comes back to a lot of creativity. So for those of you that want to like dip your toe in the water, they're saying like pick up a book on creativity, get an audiobook on creating, go out, start talking to people that are living that life, that are inspired. Like go take a class, try something different, go meet people that are actually doing what they've dreamed of. And it's going to inspire you. It's going to inspire you. It's actually going to be one of the best ways to help connect you to this inner voice. It's all going to start clicking and making sense when you're around others that have already like formed a deep connection to their inner voice. You're going to feel the calling. You're going to feel that resonate, like that resonating with them. They're saying, you know, a lot of the messages is going to come from your gut. So this is like sacral chakra, your solar plexus. There is going to be a lot of gut hits for this pile. Your gut is going to be telling you what is right and what is wrong and what to do. But then the devil comes in, and the devil the devil is a trickster. The devil loves to challenge you, and the devil loves to be like, hey, are you sure? We've been doing, you know, this fine this whole time. We got it down. We know how to do it. You know, it's making us what we need to make. And the devil is going to start questioning you. It's gonna put doubts in your head, and it's basically gonna test you. Like, are you going to take action on it or not? So the devil really comes from a lot of unconscious thought and programming. So when you have been conditioned in a certain group or a certain society or a certain family, you know, circle, certain schooling, certain, you know, culture, you've gotten inundated with a lot of, you know, beliefs, expectations, programming, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what's right, what's wrong, what makes me look good in front of other people, what makes me look not good in front of people. And you start creating your behaviors based off of this, right? And the devil is like, hey, why do we need to change? We don't need to change. You're thinking out of the box. We don't like that. We want to keep you unconscious. We want to keep you in the box, because in the box you're going to feel safe. And once you feel safe, why leave the box, right? But what the devil is really trying to trick you from is that growth really does come from being out of your comfort zone, and you feel alive, you feel exhilarated, right? You take calculated risks. You try different things because you're realizing that life's too short, right? You want to live, you want to get out there, you want to try new things. You have a short period of time on earth. What are you so afraid of? To look like a fool? And then what? You just move on and try something else. Like, what are you going to do? Sit there and keep doing the same thing your whole life? And if that's something that brings you joy, and for some people it absolutely is, you know, then great. Maybe you found your calling and you're in exactly what you need to do. But if you've been on autopilot and you've been living unconsciously, you know, the devil card comes up to tempt you to stay there. It doesn't want you to gain enlightenment. It doesn't want you to grow. It doesn't want you to challenge your beliefs and change them and expand. It wants you to, quote unquote, feel safe, which is really just keeping you stuck, you know. And a lot of people feel the stuckness for a long time and they don't know why, but it's a lot of times it gets, you know, it's connected back to just feeling, you know, safe or satiated where you are, and then you start numbing yourself and you kind of lose your pull, you lose the calling, and then people pay, you know, hundreds of dollars later in their life to try to reignite that calling. And they're like, they start taking classes and they're like, man, I always knew I loved painting, but I never pursued it, right? Some people are so unconscious and they shove these callings so deep, you know, they repress them, that sometimes later on in life it's almost like it's impossible to even feel it. So the devil is going to come out and it's going to test you, and it's going to say, hey, you're comfortable, stay comfortable, don't worry about anything else. All this other stuff that's coming out is noise. And you're going to have to challenge it. You're going to have to challenge the devil, those thoughts in you that keep you you know, safe and stuck and doing the same thing, and you're going to have to figure out a way to break free of that. You got to break the chains of that thinking. And it does come with facing some of your fears, facing some of your demons. Like, oh, I'm really scared of trying something different. I'm really scared of failing. I'm scared, you know, what if I try something and I realize that this thing I like, I'm terrible at? Like, what does that mean about me, right? And it's like, well, everything is about learning and expanding and growing, and usually things lead you from one thing to another. And when you hit a wall, you know, when a door closes, a window opens, and that's just how life is. So be mindful of this devil coming out to tempt you to stay where you are. Now, the good news is that you do have a higher calling here, and that higher calling does trump the devil card, the devil energy, right? This higher calling is going to keep, it's never going to go away, is what I'm being told. It is going to stay there for the majority of your life. So even if you decide not to follow it, it's never going to go away. It may get a little quiet, and then it may get loud again later on, but do you really want to wait? Do you really want to wait for another 5 years, 7 years, 10 years to pass, and then you get another, you know, calling, and it's like, you could have started now, right? So keep that in mind for those of you that are starting to have these doubts and like, oh, should I just turn back? Should I just keep doing what I've always known? So it looks like the guidance of the fish is coming out to help you. It says, setbacks do not define me. Setbacks nudge me into new awareness. Okay, so this is going to challenge people that fall in the perfectionism spectrum. For those of you that want things to work out immediately or want things to look a certain way, this is going to be challenging, because when you're entering a new sphere, a new way of expressing yourself, trying new things relating to the world, you're going to be like a kid in a playground. You're gonna get your knees scraped. You're gonna go and try to meet friends, and some of them are just not gonna get along with you, and it's unpleasant, right? And this is like, this is the school of life that we have all agreed to, which is why we're all down here. So the guidance of the fish is really coming out to be like, hey guys, you know, when you start doing things and, you know, you may come up against a wall, you may come up against failure, really think about it like experimentation. Think about it in the context of play. You're playing with things. Sometimes things are fun, sometimes things aren't fun, and you keep molding the clay until something works. I think a lot of you are very intuitive. This is water energy coming out again. So water and water, it's that intuitive guidance again, right? It's like, hey, you can really swim with the fish here. You need to find other fish that can swim in these waters and that are connected on this level and that can help support you. I think a lot of you that are going to come up against this devil energy, can the antidote to it is to find other people that can be supportive going through similar thing, right? So you find other people that are also having doubts or also coming up against like challenges, and really all they need is just that extra emotional support that's going to help you. And it's mutually beneficial, right? You help each other. It's like a partnership in the world, like, hey, I help you, you help me, I believe in you, you believe in me. Because sometimes you don't always see how wonderful you are and all the talents you have. You can really see it much easier in other people sometimes. And so you can really go to other people and have them be that mirror for you and really tell you, like, no, I really do think you could do this. This looks really amazing. Give it a shot. You know, what could you lose? I'm still going to be around if it doesn't work out, and sometimes that's what you need. So I think this is about finding other people that like to play in these areas, that like to take, you know, some risks, like to do different things. I feel like for some of you, you need to travel out of the pond that you've been in. It's like you've been in the same pond. You need to travel to other, like, instead of staying in the pond, jump on the highway, which is the river that takes you to another, body of water. Like, you need to see something else. You need to go somewhere. Mountain energy would be really good for you. You have grounding energy, but if you travel to the mountains, it helps you reset. I feel like a lot of the energy that we carry in our bodies being on autopilot, it's very kind of chaotic, frenetic energy. It's stressful energy, right? Because you want to grow, but you keep telling your body to do the same thing. And all that energy gets stuck. It's like bottlenecked. So I feel like, the mountains would be really good for some of you. Traveling to mountains, seeing mountains, being around this deep earth energy, which makes you feel grounded. Because a lot of the devil is a lot of air energy, right? It's a lot of mental. It's mental bondage, right? If not, like, it can also be physical bondage. It can be abuse and other things. But in the context of this reading, I think this is really doubts coming in, which is very, thoughts, mental, air energy. So it's like, hey, you guys can counteract that by being in your body, being grounded, being around other people, in water energy, in emotional energy, in intuitive thoughts, and getting those hits. And this is how you're going to counteract the devil. And what are you chasing? You're chasing joy. That is going to be your North Star. So for a lot of you that are, sitting here thinking, hey, I don't know. I have this idea. I have these like intuitive hits of like to do something different, but what is my North Compass? For you, it's joy. You're really going to make joy your North Star. What brings you that level of excitement? And for those of you that, you've been stuck in your rut for quite a while and joy seems out of reach, you can always try to reach for something like relief, comfort, and just small hits of appreciation, small hits of feeling entertained, feeling happy. But joy is going to be your compass here. So I've asked for 3 more cards on how to do what you need to do to take the next steps, like the guidance that you need. So let's see what they say. Okay. All right, you guys are either hard workers or you're going to be working hard. So, okay, 2 of Pentacles. So in the context of this reading, the 2 of Pentacles is about balancing energy. You are going to be dancing the dance of life. This is really for people that have, multiple things in the air, multiple commitments. You have this intuitive side of you, but then you also have this very physical 3D side of like, I need to pay bills and I need to go do these things. So the 2 of Pentacles talks about dancing the dance between these two and learning how to balance both. And I feel very strongly you're going to get very good at this. They're showing me, one of those smaller planes that you're in, that when, there's gusts of wind or, you're traveling during a storm and you have like a crosswind, the wings automatically self-adjust. It's like the pilot doesn't even really have to do anything. They're just flying in a straight line, basically. And the wings are riding the airstream, right? You're just adjusting. So even though sometimes when that happens, it feels a little scary, it feels like a jolt, it's like the plane auto adjusts quickly when that stream of wind hits it, right? That crosswind. So when you feel these these different challenges that you need to balance, that's what's going to start happening. You're going to start auto adjusting. It's like shifting gears in a car, and you're going to get incredibly good at it if you're not already. So let me see here if there's anything else coming through for the Two of Pentacles. They're saying ride the ride. They're saying ride the stream. There's what I'm getting is, yes, you know, doing something different, it comes with risk. There's uncertainty here that comes with a level of fear, but there is also exhilaration. There is also counterbalance. There is also looking ahead and seeing other people that have done the same thing and they are where they wanted to be, right? There's both. The scales are balanced here. Scales as in Two of Pentacles. So you actually can get energy riding the stream. It doesn't always have to be this kind of like draining dance of, oh, now I have to shift left, now I have to shift right, now I have to go down, and tomorrow I have to go up. It's like when you're actually riding the stream, you actually are getting energy is what they're telling me. So if you haven't honed that yet, it's because I feel like you're not actually moving towards the calling yet. Once you start actually moving towards the calling, starting to explore, starting to meet new people, trying new things out, you're going to feel that growth. You're going to feel more alive. You're going to feel more confident in the call. That's when you're going to start getting the energy. And then, yeah, of course, you'll have a little setbacks. You know, the waters may be a little rocky here and there. But they're telling me that's just in their perspective, it's part of the fun. You know, for us down here, it may not feel like fun initially. It may feel more like challenges. It may feel like, you know, being drained or like, you know, obstacles in the way. But they're saying that's just part of the journey. And you know it. You know you're going to have your peaks and you know you're going to have your valleys, and you're really balancing all of your commitments. And they're saying that you do have a strong connection to your guides, to the spirit world. You're there. Like, you already had self-awareness here with the Four of Cups. You already have your self-awareness. So they're saying you're already connected. So just continue to connect if you need, you know, more encouragement, if you need to know you're on the journey. They're telling me once you find the path, it's going to be pretty clear. It's going to hit you in the gut. You're going to feel aligned. It's going to start pulling you. It's going to feel like an arrow, like very directional energy, moving clearly in one way for you. And so they're telling you that because they want to encourage you. It's not going to always feel like this abstract, cloudy, like, oh, I kind of know. It's like, no, once you really connect, once you connect the physical world with, you know, the calling with the spirit world, it's all going to fall into place and you're going to know what to do. And that's when they're telling me you are going to start working. This is very much conscious creation. You are going to be consciously creating, honing your gifts. This may, for a lot of you that haven't really done a lot with your hands, like labor or dexterous, you know, this may be a big part of your calling. I really feel like you're going to be using your hands to create. It's like for those of you that love writing, you love putting that pen to paper and just feeling that energy exchange and seeing that creation come onto that page. It's like that. You're going to be honing your gifts. And they're telling me once you find it, you're going to be really focused on it. You're going to be in the mode. You're going to be in the flow. You're going to be creating boom, 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 again. Like, it's really going to keep you in that focused mindset. And I really feel like you're going to love it. And that is the difference between what you're doing now, which is, you know, being unconscious and kind of doing things on auto. And this is like, oh, no. I am consciously choosing to do this. I love doing this. I love honing my craft. You know, they may not all look the same. They may not all be perfect, but I don't care. I am getting the joy in the act of creating. And I feel like it's these things that you're going to be creating, whether it's a product or a service, or even if it's like learning something or teaching something or just abstract, even if it's like consulting, you know, whatever it is that you really love doing, I feel like people are really going to see the value. They're going to look at you and they're going to be like, wow, that has value to it. I really like that. I resonate with that. I want a piece of that. What can I do? Can I, you know, I can exchange money for it. I want to have a piece of this. And it's going to be magnetic, whatever you end up doing. It's really going to pull people. It's going to be something you become incredibly proud of, very proud of, because it's your own creation, right? Conscious creating. And my goodness, the universe loves that. I am getting that like very strongly. The universe loves when people are in the flow, consciously creating, doing what they do best. That's what the universe wants. So you're going to be working on it. I see you working on it. I see you honing it. If this is the path that you decide. Let's see if anything else comes through here. Yeah, they're saying it may be a little messy. It's going to be a little messy. But you're going to love it. You're going to love the process. It's like when you're painting and you get paint on your clothes. You don't care. You know, I mean, hopefully you don't wear like really nice clothes when you're painting, but it's like, you don't care if your clothes are going to get messy. You just love it. You just love it. You are eating it up. It's like when you eat like healthy food and your body just drinks it up. It's like that feeling. You're going to get energy from doing what you're doing, which is, it's so fabulous. I love that. I love that for you, Pile One. Okay, so let's see where they're taking me here. 8 of Wands. So they're saying don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged about the time that it takes to create this or find this. This is a work in progress. You are a piece of art, okay? And you are a work in progress. And you may take a little longer to find things than other people. You know, other people may look like they already know what they're doing. Spirit is telling me that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You cannot compare yourself to someone else on their journey. You know, they have different karma, they have different past lives, they have different resources and current life circumstances. It's like everyone's on their own journey. So you are not competing against anybody else. This is only you aligning with you aligning with your higher self, aligning with your soul calling. So they don't want you to be discouraged here. I do want to pull one more card. Let's see. Just maybe another card of encouragement here. Okay, well, you want encouragement? Here you go. Ace of Cups, a new love, something you're emotionally connected with, right? Something that opens your heart, something that brings you internal emotional satisfaction. It's new, it's bright, it's different, it's loving, it's energy giving, right? You're investing in your own cup here, and you see the overflow. This is the love of life, right? Like, that's what's priceless here. You will feel alive. You will feel the love of living, the love of life. You will feel in love again with life. So they are just wanting you to know, hey, don't be discouraged. There may be a transitionary period where you have to work through things. It may take longer than you think. Don't stop. It's going to bring this new, beautiful, bright era, this new season of your life, where you're going to be creating something that brings you joy and other people take value from. And that's going to be incredibly fulfilling, right? This is like artisans, this is creators, like content creators, people who create art, products, services, whatever it is. Like, I think that's one of the most fulfilling things. It's like you put something that you love out there, and then people value it, and you feel valued, you feel purposeful in life, and that makes you feel alive. So for you, pile number one, don't be discouraged. If you feel like you've been doing things on autopilot, you have the calling now to do this other avenue, this other path, this left field. It's just a calling. You've got to find it. You got to balance out your energy. You got to keep working at it. Find other people that are swimming in that pond. Try different things, and you're going to use joy as your North Star to go find it. So I'm wishing you the best, pile number one. Go out there and start playing in life. Okay? Okay, pile number two with the carnelian. So we are going to do a clarifying card here, just to make sure that you've picked the right pile. Oh, the Fool. I'm so excited. I love the Fool energy. Oh my goodness. The Fool energy is excitement. It's exhilaration. It is doing something a little risky, a little different, adventurous, just going out there and just being your innocent human being self and attempting something new and different. And it's just gonna be so rewarding, right? You're gonna be learning, you're gonna be growing. I always feel like the imagery that comes to my mind is someone that's like exploring a new mountain, or going into a new like area and just drinking up all the differences and visiting all these new places and getting all this new information, and you eat all this delicious food and meet all these cool new people, and you just feel like you're living. So that is the Fool energy. If you feel like you have this Fool energy calling, maybe you've been living like this for a while, and you've just been kind of like living on the edge, exploring life, and you're like, man, I don't know, I've just been doing this and I don't know what to do next. Or maybe this is for some of you that are like, oh, I feel this intuitive hit of like doing something completely new and different and just taking a risk and growing in an area that I haven't grown before. And oh man, I feel that energy flowing through me. I feel this calling. This is the pile for you. So, all right, pile number two, I am super excited to see what messages come for you here. Okay, so what's interesting is the first pile had 3 cards, but you guys have 4 cards here. And we have 2 more cards, so maybe I can just put that here so we can see them a little better. I'm getting really, really good vibes from this pile number 2. Wonderful, wonderful vibes. Okay. Let me just hone in on the card here, Death Reversed. Okay, I feel like whatever has needed to fall away in your life has either already fallen away or it's like done. Maybe you were doing something for a while, and like pile number 1 is still in that process of doing it and figuring out, hey, am I going to dip my pinky toe in the water of something different? You guys are like, oh, it's done. Like, I already did it. I'm done with it. It's dead. You don't have to convince me to like stop doing what I was doing. It's over with. They're telling me this is like a snake shedding. A lot of you Maybe you had a lot of things shedding in the year of the snake, 2025, you know, up until February of 2026. And now we're in the year of the fire horse. And things just started falling away, right? Your snake skin was shedding. Maybe you had an upheaval at work. Maybe, you know, your living situation changed. Maybe your friends and family dynamics changed. Maybe people came into your life. Maybe people left your life. And it's like, hey, that it's already done. Like, that chapter is closed. I am living in this new reality with this new fresh energy of the Fool, and the past is in the past. Now what do I do? So Spirit just wanted to come out with the Death reversed card to just acknowledge that it was all meant to be. Okay, whatever has been shed needed to be shed. And it's so easy to say that, but if some of you are still processing the, you know, the shedding of an old life, an old identity, it could even be, you know, an ego death. It could be, you know, a relationship falling apart. Those things are not small, okay? Those are not small. So if you're still in the process of grieving it, or it's still coming up for you to, you know, be present with and process, absolutely, we are not minimizing that. Being a human being is very hard. And when you've put a lot of energy into things like relationships and work and living in one place and it all starts falling away, it's a crisis. It is an absolute identity death crisis. So you know, shout out to pile number 2 peeps. If you experienced it and you survived it, you guys are amazing. I'm going through something similar and it is not for the faint of heart, my God. So, you know, you guys are really resilient. You guys have really experienced an upheaval here. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is this is really character building for you. This has been a huge character building time in your life when this happened. And, you know, when people look at people who have this depth and this kind of, you know, presence about them and this ability to handle difficult things in life, and they're awed by them, they're wowed by them. They're like, wow, you just have this, like, I don't know, this depth to you. Like, how do you did it? And it's like, oh, you know how we did it? Our whole life was shed and we survived it. And we have now grown into the type of like emotional human containers where we can actually hold incredibly heavy, difficult things and come out on the other side and know that, you know, we're stronger, we're survivors. So shout out to you, pile number 2. This is incredibly strong pile. Incredibly strong. And because you went through this shedding, the Fool energy is coming out even more. It's like everything that was shed was blocking you from the Fool energy, and as it shed, the Fool energy just came up. It's like the sun. I feel like it was like radiance. The sun was rising. You saw the light at the end of the tunnel. It might have been a while to get there, but when it started rising and you started feeling it, you felt the energy, you felt the pull, the call. Now you're moving into, what do I do with it? Where's the call coming from? Where am I going now? What am I doing? And pile number 2, you are our builders. Congratulations. If you did not know, you are building the new earth. Yes, yes, you are. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All of us have been waiting for you. Congratulations. You are building the new earth. You are warriors. Oh, I love you, pile number 2. You are warriors. You are going to be dismantling the systems, the beliefs, the thoughts, the things that no longer serve us as a collective, as a society. This is a great calling. This is a soul calling for you, okay? This is like, oh my goodness, I'm just getting this pull. It's almost like, you know, when you're wearing like, oh my gosh, what are those called? like those farmers wear them. Oh, I forgot what they're called. It's like the one piece suit with the straps on the top, and like you're sitting on the ground and someone just grabs it, grabs your, you know, your one piece and pulls you up and your whole body just gets elevated. It's like you've been springboarded into your purpose. And you may already have started. You may already be called to find similar people, go find your communities, go find, like, this is all about builders, finding support, finding other people. You are building new systems, you're building a new world for us. And I'm so excited to see where this group takes us. Amazing, absolutely fantastic energy. A lot of the energy coming through with this is you are going to be you're going to be taking action to shed these old programs, these old patterns, these old behaviors, and you're going to lay the foundation for new thought, new ways of doing things, new processes, like new ways of doing life that aligns with humans and us being souls on this planet. And you've already experienced enough of, you know, life that you're like, I already know what's not working. It hasn't worked. It hasn't been working. It's very obvious it hasn't been working. And so now we're going to build something that is going to be working. And I feel like this is an oversoul collective energy. I feel like there are many oversouls and they have multiple incarnations here on earth at the same time. So you may even be drawn into intentional communities, collectives, group thinking, like people who have the same intention. You are going to be pulled in, and it feels like you're going to be working toward similar goals, but you're all going to be bringing your own skill sets into it. It's really beautiful. It's like an orchestration of everyone's skill sets that come together in a unified way to invest in this goal of building this new way of life for all of us. What you're going to be doing is actually going to be setting down the bricks for planet Earth. So no small calling, okay? No small calling. I am being told that this is going to look different for different people. So if you're more of a solo person, they're saying that's totally fine. You may be called to do solo coaching. You may be called to use your specialized skill sets to go and help communities, like help Mother Earth, help the animals, like change the laws, you know, do different things. You don't necessarily have to be working in a collective. But what I'm getting is, because a collective is going to be working with the same goals in mind, you're going to start feeling that momentous energy just be building, right? Once you're tapped into the stream of energy, you're going to be feeling that pull. You're just going to feel supported, because intuitively you're going to feel that other people are also working towards that common goal. And that's going to give you energy. And you are doing it in the way that you need to do it, by following your own inner calling, your own desires and passions, and it's going to feed into what everyone is doing collectively towards this common goal. Okay, one moment. I'm getting another download here. So whoever is coming through right now, the spirit wants me to tell you there are some very, very, very high conscious leaders at the top of this. I want to say they're in spirit. I don't know whether they're actually in physical form, although some of them might be, but they are grand masters. Like, these are the echelon of, you know, divine teachers, maybe even extraterrestrial. maybe even galactic, right? A lot of people talk about the Galactic Federation, they talk about the New Earth, and they're talking about how teachers are, you know, spreading the information through channelers, and people are waking up in this time. I think we're in the age of Aquarius, right? So we're waking up, and you are really going to be led on how to do things, what to do. You're just gonna know when you start doing things, whether it's in alignment or not. Like, this is not the group, like group one, I was trying to guide them, like, hey, like, experiment and, you know, don't be discouraged. This is the group where it's like, you're gonna know if you do something, you're gonna almost instinctively know quite soon, if not immediately, whether it lines up with your purpose or not, because the calling is so great. You may feel pulled so strongly that it almost doesn't even feel like an option for you. It just feels like this is what you're meant to do. This is an incredibly purposeful group, pile 2. And I think that's why this death, this shedding happened. It might have happened actually quite quickly, and it might have been quite an upheaval. It may have even like uprooted your entire life for you to be put in a position to be like, I am a steward of the earth, and I am now going to fully invest myself in building the new earth. So, you know what? Congratulations. You guys are, oh man, you guys are really, you have really signed up for this. I think a lot of you guys, if not all of you, pile 2, have specifically signed up for this calling. This is like a leadership. You are stewarding the new earth. You guys are very committed. Very committed. You're going to be very like dedicated. Very dedicated. It's like people are, if you have any naysayers, it's just gonna like completely ricochet off of you. Like, you're not gonna even, it's not even gonna hurt you. Like, the level of shielding on this group is absolutely incredible. You guys are amazing. I would love to meet some of you guys in person, because the energy I'm feeling is just so full of purpose and so full of focus. And but it's focus not in the sense that you know exactly what you're doing. Focus in the sense that your calling is so strong, you can't do anything but that thing, period. Okay? So, my God, the energy of this 3 of Pentacles is just lighting up this whole room. Thank you for that. I love this energy. Okay, what I'm getting is a specific group of pile 2, the ones that like moved into the forest, the ones that are starting to work the earth, the ones that are like, hey, I'm content creating in a cottage in the woods. I am done with living in the city. I'm done with the corporate life. I'm done with trying to fit into this shoebox that society has put me in. Like, this is it. This is, you are pile 2. And when you are living this life and other people are seeing it, you know, whether in person, whether you're creating social media or you're just talking about it, and people can feel this energy just emitting off of you, they are going to be drawn to this. You guys are actually really role models. People are going to feel an energetic difference being in your presence, watching your content, being around whatever you are doing, speaking, creating. It is going to be very, very evident to people. And you are going to be planting the seeds for a lot of people that are still unconscious, okay? A lot of people that still have not broken from the matrix, right? This 3D heavy society program built matrix. They're going to be looking at you and they're going to be like, wow, they feel happy and alive. And of course, You know, a lot of you know that, you know, doing things, living off the land, doing things that are very different than how society expects you to do is not easy. It takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of resilience and determination and not giving up. But you are really going to be showing other people the way can be created. I actually feel like you are going to be the beginners of the future with intentional communities. People are going to look at you and they're going to be like, why can't we just do this? Why can't we just all just pick these intentional communities? We bring our own skill sets. We start working together. We start living off the land. We start taking care of each other's family in a communal setting. This will lighten the load. It'll lighten the burden. You can be artisans. You can be businessmen. You can be creators. You can be sustainers. You can be in management, right? I'm not saying that you have to literally be like with a plow and a till and oxen, you know, like planting blueberries and potatoes. I'm saying that like you guys are going to give people a glimpse into them bringing their own specialized skill sets into let me take a quick drink here. Bring their specialized skill sets into creating a fully functional, intentional community, right? Which has a very wide range of skill sets from, you know, maybe nursing and animal rearing to content creation to selling products to raise money and, you know, learning about agriculture. It's fabulous. You guys, this is a very earth-based energy coming through with you guys. Oh, I am such a cheerleader of you guys. I am so excited to see what you guys create. And if you're not necessarily there yet, the energy coming through me is a glimpse of what you are going to be experiencing if you do choose to follow this, right? If you're like, oh, I don't feel that everything that you're saying sounds incredible, but I'm not there yet. I'm letting you know it's completely possible for you and you can completely create it. Okay? And maybe you just need to find other people that can help close the gaps in the areas that you feel you need to close in order to start believing this and starting to take action on this. But this is your calling. So if you are still like, hey, I don't know what to do and I'm not sure, it's like you are the shepherds of the new earth. You're going to be living in ways that people have been dreaming about, going back to the land, being simple, staying in your bodies, eating well, exercising, sleeping well. And you're going to use the energy that you're generating to live a very wholesome, grounded, connected to the earth life. And this is what a lot of human beings have been disconnected from. And there is a great calling for this universally, of going back to the earth, going back to seasons, really understanding the cycles, understanding how we are a group, like we are a group species. We are meant to live in communities, intentional, conscious communities where we all help each other, we take care of each other. And that's when we can thrive as a species on earth, right? Not all of us just being like brainwashed by social media and, you know, falling under this spell of consumerism, although we all love a little consumerism, but, you know, just falling under this brainwashing and you feel lonely, you feel disconnected, you don't know how to be social, you don't know how to make friends, like you don't feel seen or heard. That does not exist in these communities that are going to be built with the seeds that this group is going to plant. You are literally going to be the pioneers and the teachers of the new earth. Okay? So I know that was a lot. It was just such fabulous energy. I was just swimming in it for a minute. So let me just move over here to the Queen of Wands. Let's see what this fabulous woman has to say to us. So the message that's coming through is the Queen of Wands is very confident, self-assured energy. You know, this is for people that really know who they are. They know themselves, they know their skill sets. They don't need to prove themselves. There's no ego here, right? I mean, there's always a little bit of ego, but it's like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I know my calling. Just get out of my way. I'm gonna do it. Like, Queen of Wands is like, you are so self-assured. No one can really knock you off of this. Like, they can put doubts in your mind or whatever, but this is just them having their own doubts and then, you know, judging you or criticizing other people because they don't even know what they're doing in their own life, or they feel like they figured it all out themselves, you know. But Queen of Wands energy is really a call for entrepreneurs and leaders, especially the feminine. I'm not saying this is specifically only for females, you know, males and females both have both masculine and feminine energy, but this is a calling back to the feminine, creation, Mother Earth, taking care of each other, community, communal activities, socializing, creating bonds with each other, bartering, you know, living off the land, making things, selling things. Like, that is what the Queen of Wands energy is. You are going to be creating connections for people to thrive, okay? You really know your stuff, Queen of Wands, pile 2. You know who you are, you know your knowledge is good, it's solid. You need to put it into practice if you haven't already been doing it. If you have been doing it, Spirit is saying you're doing amazing, congratulations. They're saying that for those of you that are already doing it, if you want to take it a step further, you can really solidify it in a group. If you find other people, you can start creating, I'm gonna say like a mini society, you know? If you want to, the Queen of Wands energy that's coming through right now is all about, hey, what do I have that you need? And what do you need or want that I have or I need, right? It's about creating the connections. So, wow, it's incredible, this energy that's coming through. I feel like this is how people used to live, you know? It's like, hey, I know how to make bread. You know how to grow blueberries. I will make the bread, you will make the blueberries. That's one thing down. What else can we do? I can sew, you can weave. Okay, that's another thing down. It's like you're good at what you do, and now you're forming some sort of like a group that's good at doing so many different things that complement each other, that you're literally going to be building these mini societies, these mini communities. And it's going to be beautiful to watch, guys. It's going to be really beautiful. You know, when you're in the Queen of Wands energy, or you're around someone who's in the Queen of Wands, because they're just so damn good at what they do. They just know what they're doing. They're in their element. Very salt of the earth people, very much in their bodies, just decent, good people. So let me see if anything else is coming through here. So I'm being drawn to the disc, and I'm trying to ask them, is it timing? Are you saying like it's going to take time? But I think what they're trying to tell me is that when you build these communities, they're going to start popping up in different areas. And the communities are going to start to become options for people to join. Like, right now, I live in the United States. So right now, in my experience in life, you know, you're indoctrinated in school, and then you go and get a job and you do these things, and you don't really feel like there's a lot of other places that you can go that have support structures, right? Because like society has like groceries, and they like grocery stores and hospitals and healthcare, and it's like there's a system set up to support you. That's why it's so hard for people to leave the system. When you start leaving the system, you have trouble creating all of these like auxiliary support systems to help you. It's why people stay stuck in the system forever, right? And so what I'm seeing is you, pile two, are gonna be part of creating these communes, these different areas where people can go, where you have support services set up, right? Like housing, childcare, food and water, clean water, and like how you're going to be able to teach them what they're good at and how they can do things. And they can come and start learning a new way of living there. And they don't have to feel like they just need like a desk job, like an 8-to-5 desk job, and that's their life. So that is what the disc is for. Okay, let's see what else they're gonna give me here. Yeah, the energy, I guess the final energy that's coming through for the Queen of Wands is you guys are queens. You guys are leaders. You are leadership, okay? You are, the amount of confidence and self-assurity that is coming through is absolutely phenomenal. If you don't feel this yet, you have this innately in you, okay? And once you start following this, you will start uncovering this energy. Once you start following your calling, you will start uncovering this deep pull, this deep, purposeful soul calling of creation, and you are going to be leading it. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Okay, let's see here. I'm just dipping into the energy here. Okay, so what they're saying is, if you do decide to follow this calling, they want to acknowledge that you may draw people who still have a lot of ego to these groups, okay? Now, these people who still have a lot of ego, they think they come with not a lot of knowledge, but they come with more a naivete and arrogance, okay? So they're saying that when you're building intentional communities, you're building these groups, there will be pitfalls. There will be people that can be difficult to deal with. There will be challenges in these group dynamics, okay? That's why boundaries, leadership, rules, consequences, they're important. You need structure, because you will be attracting people who think that they are awoken, that they're awake, that they're like enlightened, and they're gonna come and they're gonna try to join the communes, and they're gonna talk the talk, and they think they're walking the walk, and maybe some of them are, but they're still operating from a lot of ego. And they're telling me ego likes to operate like a child, like children, like they think they know better. They feel very strongly about what they know. And Spirit is saying there's a difference between knowing who you are and having the leadership and the maturity and the knowledge of executing that and building things and understanding how to navigate failures, understanding how to navigate challenges and growing and bringing people together. And then people who are outliers and they're like, well, you shouldn't do things like this. And they're like judging and they're criticizing and it's in their attempt to help, they're actually creating like dissension, like disorganization, confusion. So Spirit is saying like, hey, if for pile 2, who, you know, if you choose this calling, you choose to create this new earth, this will be something you are going to come up against. And that's why they're saying that, like, learning how to build like a social society, a group that's cohesive, is very important for people who know how to get people to work together, how to address people who still have a lot of ego that they may need to see, they may need to shed, and to help them grow up. You know, this is about helping them. This isn't about just like kicking them out of the community, although there may be some of those, you know, bad eggs that don't, you know, they're just not going to fit in. This is really about learning how to master social dynamics. So, you know, they're saying to value people who know how to talk to people, know how to build relationships, know how to navigate conflict management, coaching, leadership, you know, even management. It's like if you're a good manager, you can get people to work together. You can see the things that people need to work on. You can address it with them. There's a plan. Everything is very clear. You're working very consciously. So just heads up, you may be attracting some of these people into your sphere while you're trying to do this. And they're saying they're going to act a little childish. That's how you're going to kind of know, you know, where they're at in this journey. So let's see. Spirit is saying that when they come around, they do have something to teach you. There is something there to learn, but there is something very important that you do need to put down, and that is very, very clear boundaries. If you make the boundaries clear in the offset, it will be easier for people to learn how to fit into the dynamic, right? It's like an orchestra. You have to learn how to work together. You can't just have like, you know, the trumpet guy playing a different song and everyone else is trying to play this other song together. It's like, it's discordant. There's going to be disharmony there. So this is about learning how to work together with people, making boundaries very clear, and also just being like, hey, this group isn't for everyone. You may not ultimately belong here. Maybe you'll outgrow this group. You're welcome to try to, you know, work with us and build these bonds and build, you know, relationships. And if we're not finding a good fit, there may be a better place for you elsewhere. And of course there is, right? Everyone is in their own place and we're all learning. So just that, this card is more like an FYI. So, okay, let's see where we're going next. Guidance of the flamingo. I allow myself to give and receive the warmth of physical touch. Isn't this such a Queen of Wands energy? Like the fire energy, the passion, like very earth energy too. It's like physical touch, being grounded with each other, feeling connected to each other. Very like, this is very like human species. Like this is a group of people that feel very bonded, very communal. So, you know, physical touch, this isn't necessarily about anything like physical intimacy. It's more like true emotional intimacy, right? Physical touch, I think, is probably on one of our basic needs as human beings. So there could even be like a huge cry for a lot of people that haven't had a lot of physical touch in their life, right? As babies, as children, and they still have that very deep need. So, you know, I mean, this comes back also, it comes back to that community, feeling welcomed, feeling held, feeling included, feeling inclusive. So you're really building this type of warm vibe with people. They feel held, right? They feel carried, they feel seen, they feel supported. This is the vibe that you're going to be growing, you're going to be going for. And it's very healing. This is a very healing energy coming through. And what you're going to be learning to work toward is finding a rhythm, right? You're going to be finding the rhythm of how it works with you, how to work with other people. You know, the spirit is saying that if you're not used to learning how to be in the flow of other people, like naturally, organically, like when you work in an office, like there's rules and there's constraints and you have to put on your professional mask, and you know, you have to be a certain type of person. And so there's boundaries, very, very clear boundaries, right? They're saying when you're around people organically and people are, you know, they're learning how to be themselves, they're learning about what they can bring to the table, they're still understanding how to navigate boundaries, you're learning how to stay in rhythm with each other. And this is very matriarchal energy. This is like, you know, when you have a disagreement with someone, I feel like what Spirit is saying, like back in the olden days, or even in some of the, you know, communal tribe settings now, when you have an issue, you bring it to the tribe elder, you bring it to the matriarch or the patriarch, and you have them with their wisdom and their you know, non-judgmental maturity and presence. They will give you the tools and the information and the guidance that you need to be able to sort it out, because we're still trying to figure out, you know, how to work with each other and how to be like a fully functional, you know, group together. And so this is about finding the rhythm. They're telling me there has to be some sort of leadership here, clear leadership, clear boundaries, people you can go to, people who hold wisdom, you know. And I get a feeling like the vibe that's coming from this type of person is there's nothing they have to prove. They're so comfortable in who they are. I feel very old soul energy here. Like they've lived so many lives. They're not playing any ego games. They're not trying to lead. They're not trying to get any attention. They know who they are. They know the power of being connected to themselves and to earth, and being in the flow, in the rhythm, working together with other people. They're the type of people that, like, they can come around a wounded animal and then the animal just starts to feel loved and they start healing. Like, these are people that are really just connected with how to help people and how to heal. Like, they have figured out life. They have figured out what life really is. And a lot of it is what I'm feeling is very simple. It goes back to simple things like love, like understanding, like what does healthy authority look like? What does soul truth look like? How do I solve maybe conflicts? It's like you go to these elders and they'll tell you something and you're like, wow, you're totally, like, when you hear the truth, you just know it, right? You just feel it. You're like, wow, that's so wise. That is the type of energy that would truly benefit if you decide to do this kind of group, like working towards a common goal. So there's lots of group energy here. And if Spirit just wants me to to say, if you are more of a loner, you can still work in community. You can still have your space and your boundaries. You just kind of come out and do your thing when you need to do your thing, and then you go back and have your, you know, your own like private time, right? Your own rejuvenation time, your own alone time. So they're saying that this group isn't extroverted. This group is balanced. It's a group of you know, people who are both extroverts and introverts, and they work together with the flow of each other, right? So I asked for some further clarification and help on next steps. Pile 2, you guys are just so fabulous. You have 2 major arcana, incredible, the Chariot and the Magician. You guys really are going to be heralding a new way of life. You're going to be really showing people it can be done. That the Chariot is about, you know, it's challenging. It's a challenging path. This is not an easy path. You know, that you're not going to be living in some cushy life here. But for this group, I feel like your cushy life is living with people in working together towards a common goal. Like, that is what's going to bring you joy. That is your cushy life, right? But it does come with challenges. So there is going to be some work ahead of you. And the 6 and the 9 here for the, I believe that's Cancer. Again, they're telling me it's a yin and a yang. You're like, again, the black and the white, the yin and the yang. You're gonna be working in accordance with each other, whether you're in groups or not. It's like a lot of you are still tied up to the same oversoul, which has these same common goals, these same initiatives of heralding this new way of life, this new world. And it's going to take perseverance. It's going to take focus and almost like a dogged determination. But for a lot of you, this is like, there's no other way of living, you know? Like, this is who you are. You will be thriving in this energy. This is a calling for you. It's like people who just know that they're meant to be farmers. I'm not saying that you guys are farmers. I'm just using this as an example. But people who know that they are meant to be farmers, they love working with the earth. They love working around animals. They love producing food and you know, being a benefit to society. But they also have crops that fail. They have inclement weather that destroys things. You know, they have difficult things, you know, that they have to deal with animals sometimes. And it's like, that's the Chariot energy. You are on your path, you're doing what you love, but there will be challenges and you will face them. And the Magician, what a fabulous card to end on. The Magician, you guys have it. You guys have everything you need: earth, air, fire, water, metal, resources, knowledge, the calling. You have your soul behind you. You have the purpose ahead of you. You have it all. You guys are connected. You're going to be bringing forward, you're going to follow this energy and bring forward these new ways of exploring life, figuring out what works, creating new ways, living your life to the fullest, right? Something that some of us only dream of in our lives, because a lot of us feel so trapped in certain, you know, in certain systems. So you guys absolutely have the creativity, the charisma, you have all of these skill sets, right? Compassion, empathy, you know, understanding how to do things, leadership, you know how to bring people together. If you can't do something, someone else can do something. You can create this. You are an absolute creator. You have Magician energy and you have Chariot energy. That's like, you know how to create. You can be a master of creation, and you also have the resilience to keep going even when things are difficult in life. Like, you guys are the full package, pile 2. You're amazing. I'm gonna leave it here, pile 2. This was one of the most fun readings I've ever done for a pile. Just good luck. If this resonates, I would love to hear in the comments, like, why it resonates, what you guys are doing, where you're being pulled to. This is like just fabulous energy. So thank you, pile 2. Thank you for heralding the new earth for us. This is amazing. I am going to really enjoy seeing what you guys create and where you're leading us. So fabulous, pile 2. Thank you. Okay, pile number 3. The last, but definitely not the least, for those of you choosing garnet. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a clarifying card for you. This is about living a whole new life, okay? This is bringing you back down to family, to comfort, creature comforts, to like security, to success, to financial abundance, and just abundance in all of its forms, okay? Doesn't necessarily have to do with finance, but we have the pentacles here, which is usually money exchanging. So this is just like, hey, this is an opportunity for you to create a brand new life for yourself. It could come in the form of something different, something exciting, something new, or just a new opportunity that's coming up. It could be a new job, it could be a move, it could be a new house, it could be a new family, it could be a start of a new, initiative or project, or something that's going to be, it's going to be energy you put in, but you're going to see the energy out, right? The Pentacles is like grounded earth energy. So let us see where you're going to go here. I do feel like the energy that's coming through for pile 3 is a return to what matters, what really matters. This is about connecting back to the things that really stabilize you in life. Family, understanding your purpose, creating opportunities with money. This can also be business ventures, starting a partnership, starting something new, getting an offer from someone to do a new job. It could be moving cities to do something different, a different job, a call to do something new. And this is really about building like a home. This is the start of building a home. For a lot of you guys, if you've been wanting that home, that sense of like, hey, this is my home, or if you even have a home, this is about really like solidifying it, really defining it. This is for you. This is an opportunity for you to create that home life. And I feel like they're coming through and they're saying like, there's a formula to it. There's a formula. If you create the base, things will grow from the base. And so they're giving, it's like this is an opportunity for you to set the foundation for you to create the life that you want, that you've wanted, and start building it. Yeah, this is like a return home. This is a return home card. Like, I see people like sitting in their home in this beautiful valley, and they're like, I just feel at peace with myself. I've created a home for myself. And this is an opportunity to go in that direction and build this. So for pile 3, if that resonates, let's see what we have here. Okay, pile 3. So we have the Lover's card, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. This is about relational chemistry, emotional satisfaction. It's like if you want to build this home, it's about finding these like-minded people, learning how to love again. Isn't that like, it's almost like a lost art form in modern day life for a lot of people. It's like they don't even know what real love is, you know? I feel like this is a lot of, in some ways, for some people, it's like opposites attracting. Your opposites, you're attracting, you're learning how to love each other, you're learning how to love yourself. This is a lot of like relationship building, relational healing. For those of you that feel like you want this home life, you know, the feeling of being around family, feeling very secure, this is about like learning how to master relationships, learning how to get along with people who are different, learning how to love, again, love yourself, love others. I feel like this group is like, how can I learn to love you and be myself? You know, it's like a lot of people, they're different versions of themselves to different people, and they never fully feel like truly seen or felt, and they don't know how to be authentic and be themselves while being with someone else. And this is like learning that again, learning that I almost want to say skill again. It's like a muscle that you're going to grow. Learning how to be around people, creating relationships, creating and fostering connection, learning how to love differences, how to work around different people. And they're telling me that for this pile, I don't know how, I guess, aware or conscious this is going to be, but this pile is really learning how to love themselves when they attract other people that mirror differences. Because when, you know, they say like opposites attract, right? But we live in a 3-dimensional world, and this is a mirror dimension, which means that what you attract, you are internally to some degree. You just may not be fully conscious of it. There's a lot of subconscious things that we repress as children while we're growing up, and then we, you know, attract these opposite people, and it's like, oh, actually that personality or those characteristics that this other person like imbues is actually the part of yourself that you buried a long time ago because you weren't accepted for that, whether it was in, you know, your childhood dynamic, your family, or your schooling or friends or whatever happened. You buried those aspects of yourself. So this is about learning how to love yourself by loving the differences in other people, and realizing to a certain degree that even though people can be very different, we're actually all one. We're all mirrors of each other. This is a pile about conscious relationships, okay? If that's what this is. In a nutshell, this pile is about conscious relationships. If you have been unconsciously drawn into relationships and you have seen repeating patterns, you have experienced some really difficult, bumpy relationships, and they were all you know, God, those relationships can be really heartbreaking and difficult and challenging, my God. And we have, you know, an abundance of attachment wounds in this world, and it can be incredibly hard to heal like anxious, avoidant, disorganized attachment. And we're trying to get our needs met so much. And we keep trying to figure out how to find the people that can meet our needs, and we're all just like struggling. We're struggling out here. This is about conscious relationships. So congratulations, pile number 3. You are going to be relearning how to create and maintain conscious relationships. That is what this transitionary period is leading you to become aware of, or to learn, or to step into. So they're saying that they're saying for some of you, you may recognize this in yourself if you have been meeting the same type of people, or coming up against the same type of patterns, or the same type of conflicts or challenges. And they can be very challenging, and you've been working through them, and you're like, man, I'm exhausted. This is not what I want. And they're telling me that relationships can be very, very magnetic, and also very, very complex. So they don't want to make this, into something that seems very oversimplified. Like, oh, you're going to learn how to, you know, create loving relationships, and that's going to be easy. This is what we're here to master as a society in this 3-dimensional space. We're mastering relationships to ourselves, relationships to each other, relationships to animals, and to the earth, and to objects, and what that means for us, and how we see ourselves in each other, and how we can help each other on this crazy journey in life. That's why we're here, pile 3. So what they're saying is, you may be encountering or manifesting different people that show you the different facets of the personalities, and they are all reflecting certain personalities that are within you. If you have not figured this out, that's okay. This may not resonate for a lot of you. This does take a level of awareness to start seeing this and understanding this. And so what they're trying to say is, there may be some shadow work that this group needs to do. So if you feel lost and you're in transition, and you're like, I don't know where the heck this is leading me, I feel in limbo, I'm trying to figure this out, this is a call for shadow work. You have aspects of yourself that have been buried, and they are being reflected in other people. And as you're trying to create relationships with these other people, really what they're there for is for you to actually reconnect and re-own these internalized aspects of yourself, which have been disowned, denied, rejected, shoved into your subconscious. And this is an opportunity for integration. Okay, pile 3, this is a calling for you to reintegrate these aspects of yourself internally. And once you do, you will actually be able to master conscious relationships with other people. And what Spirit is telling me is, you will be able to, it's funny, they're saying tolerate, which is, they're being a little cheeky with me, but they're saying like, you will be able to deal with a wide variety and spectrum of people. Okay? Because once you re-own and reintegrate these aspects of yourself, I'm just gonna take a quick drink here. Oh, sorry, my voice is getting a little cracked. Once you start reintegrating these aspects of you, you're going to be able to be a container in your relationships with other people. Things that have triggered you before with other people with their differences, with their behaviors, with wanting to get your needs met and not getting them met and then being disappointed, you're going to have an incredibly large capacity to hold that once you reintegrate these aspects of yourself. So if you are already aware of that and you're working on it and you're doing shadow work, incredible. You are on your path. That is exactly what you need to be doing. Mastering yourself, mastering your relationships. If you have not been doing shadow work, this is something that I encourage you to look into. So shadow work is basically, it sound for those of you that don't know, it may sound a little woo-woo, but excuse me. Shadow work is basically to look at the parts of yourself that have been hidden. That's it, in a nutshell. When you are growing up as a child in life, you go through child rearing years, you go through fitting into your family dynamic. You're learning how to fit into different social structures, right? And there's certain times and certain parts of you are not always welcome, right? And that is usually caused the majority of the time from a situation of trauma, right? Where someone, is rejecting you or telling you can't be a certain way or you can't say a certain thing. And in order to create cohesion, it's a survival mechanism as children, we actually fragment our consciousness and we split and we bury those aspects in ourselves so that we can adhere to we can adhere to this group connection, this group mentality, because as a child, your entire survival depends upon your relationships with your parents and the other caregivers and, the people that surround you. You're completely 100% dependent upon them, and you want their love and approval. You want to be approved of. So when you fragment, and all of us do this, okay, some of us do it more than others depending on the level of difficulty and challenges in our childhood. When we fragment, we actually shove a lot of these parts of us into our subconscious, and they're still there. They're still there. And what the universe does is it mirrors those aspects of us and other people. So for those of you that have ever been really drawn to someone that you've been attracted to, and in some ways you feel almost like a deep love or even obsession with, that attraction is actually coming from a universal force that's trying to get you to re-own that aspect in yourself. Okay? So there's disclaimers here, because there are some people that are drawn to very difficult people, very dangerous dynamics. Sometimes it can be abusive. Sometimes, you're working out a lot of abuse from trauma in these adult relationships with difficult people that are still in their own trauma. So I have to add a disclaimer here that relationships, as we all know, if we've ever been in one, can be messy. All right. Even some of the best relationships will have bumps in. So this is really about re-owning these aspects of you and doing the shadow work. So you're actually able to be more of a conscious relator to other people, and you're going to know the people that you actually are compatible with versus the people that were only there to mirror these aspects of you that have been rejected and disowned and denied by you and have a great calling universally to be reintegrated by you. Okay? So these shadow aspects, they come on this spectrum. So some of them can be very benign, and some of them can be, dangerous, right? There can be a lot of hidden anger. There can be a lot of trauma. There can be a lot of suffering and pain in some of these shadow aspects. And so, for those of you that may be encountering that, this would be a really good opportunity for you to go and get some sort of professional help for you to work through that. There's some deep suffering that people hold in themselves that they don't even know they're holding. and they see the surface symptoms of it, you know, there's like anger or even like depression, and they don't know where it's coming from really. They just think it's like a general depression of life, and it could be. But for other people, it's like it's these aspects that were denied that are like crying to be seen and to be held and to be felt and to be reconnected to and to be taken out from this like dark rejected subconscious and reintegrated into your conscious world. So that is you, pile 3. This is not an easy calling. Okay. But mastering relationships is why we're all here ultimately. So this, for a lot of you, is going to be re-owning who you are, re-owning all the parts of yourself. And this is going to start to build the muscle of loving yourself and learning how to love others. This is a group that is learning how to love, okay? Learning how to love again. And that is bringing me back to this home, right? This home. Maybe it's like, this is what the Ace of Pentacles is like. Take me back home. I want to go home. Where can I find this level of comfort? Where can I find this level of security, this level of like inner satisfaction? It's in relationships for you. Okay, so shadow work. That is your calling to do right now. If you've been doing it, keep doing it. You're doing amazing. It's not easy work. It's messy and difficult, but it is so worth it. So worth it. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move over to the King of Cups here. Let me just tune in. Okay, the King of Cups is a wise counselor. That's what's coming through. This is a wise person that's going to help you and counsel you. You know, what I'm getting is like, when you have relational trauma, it is one of the most painful things that a human being can experience. We are a relationally based species that needs connection, needs to be with each other with a sense of belonging and acceptance, to be seen and to be heard and to be felt. This is a basic need for most people, for most human beings as a species, okay? So when you have relational trauma, that is one of the most painful things to experience. And what Spirit is telling me is, you didn't get relational trauma in a silo, okay? It didn't just happen to you like in an isolated environment. You received relational trauma from people around you. You need to be around people who can counsel and guide you and give you an example of what safety and security and what it means to heal the wounds. You need to understand what it feels like to heal these wounds. Once you understand that, you can start consciously doing that for yourself. Whether through multiple therapy sessions, or even you can just do the work on yourself. And you may even become so good that this is someone who you're going to be in the future for other people. Once you learn how to do it for yourself, my goodness, that is a very, very powerful skill set to have. I mean, can you imagine how painful relational trauma is? I mean, of course you can. You're pile 3 and you're the ones that have to heal it. So once you actually learn how to heal it, can you imagine the value that you're going to bring to other people that have relational trauma and are dying to heal it? Because it's so painful. Well, pile 3, I think I just figured out your calling. So this may be something that you are called to do in this transitionary phase as you're trying to figure out and work through where you're headed towards. Is like, Find the knowledge, find these relational counselors that can help you heal and guide yourself. Learn how to do it. They know how to do it. They have the wisdom to do it. You can learn through books, podcasts, free content in social media. There's a lot of free content out there. There's books out there. I learned it through a book and through YouTube. Okay, I learned how to do my own shadow work. And then I paid for a specialist to help me until I figured out how to do it. And now I can just do it with myself. And I only ask for that specialist to help me again if I'm really working through something very difficult and I just need someone there for me. So it is something that you can learn how to do, and you can do it for yourself and then help other people. So this is a knowledge transfer. Okay, the knowledge is here. And you may be asking, like, how do I find these people? How do I know where to go? And so what Spirit is saying is, these are very grounded people. Okay, grounded people, they don't have anything to prove. They know who they are. It's very clear, the information they have. The information, it's pretty solid. And the information, like the process to actually do it, may just intimidate you. It may just scare you. You may be like, I don't want to go in there. It's painful. It's, I shoved it away for a reason. I don't want to go in there. And that's when you kind of know you're in the ballpark of it, because this is difficult work. Okay, shadow work, healing relational trauma, this is not for the faint of heart. This is one of the most difficult things that people have to do. So look for very knowledgeable, grounded people. Okay, they know their stuff, and they are not BSing. Okay, they are not BSing. They are literally telling you how it is. Like, hey, if you have relational trauma, it hurts like heck. This is what you need to do to heal it. It's messy. It's difficult. This is what you need to do. These are the step-by-steps. You may need help, et cetera, et cetera. And then you learn how to do it. And what I feel like, you're going to continue to be guided towards it. So if you're trying not to do it, you're going to continue to be guided towards doing it. If you're already doing it, you guys are warriors, and I have so much respect for you. And you guys are going to be really changing. You guys are going to be doing the healing work that the generations before you, either didn't have the time or resources to do, or they didn't know how to do it. And they, some would say they absolutely should have done it before having children. But, here we are, different generations had different challenges. It was different periods of time. And it's like, now you guys, the challenge and the calling to do this is now on your shoulders to heal yourself. And there is enough guidance and there's enough information for you to find a way to reconnect with yourself. They're saying that this is heavy energy. This is like, they talk about like the dark night of the soul. That's what this is. Like, you are going into these emotional depths where you as a child, as a young adult, have experienced traumatic things, and you consciously split, you have fragmented, and you've buried them under the surface. All right, so that's what they're showing me with all these little hands, these little arms coming out of this shadowy underworld. Okay, and you are going to, one by one, look at them, bring your conscious awareness, work with them, listen to their story, hear them, meet their needs, process it, and reintegrate it. And the more you do it, the more whole you're going to feel as a person. You're actually going to be able to reclaim a lot of the things that you may feel like very dead to. You're going to be able to reclaim, you know, a sense of innocence, a sense of playfulness, a sense of love and compassion and caring for yourself. A lot of these emotions can be very hard for people to feel connected to when you've had a lot of relational trauma, because, you know, a relational trauma creates so much fragmentation that it creates a sense of like self-hatred. You know, it's one of the strategies used to split yourself in order to, it's so painful to split yourself, but you'll do it because it's a survival mechanism. So you may and you are going to have to re-experience a lot of these very painful, you know, deep traumatic things, to relive them and bring these things up from your subconscious up to your conscious mind and reintegrate it. Now, what they're telling me is when you start doing this, you are going to be re-owning a lot of aspects of yourself. These golden fish, you're going to be re-owning a lot of these aspects of yourself that have been buried for a while. And a lot of them will come with gifts of compassion, gifts of self-awareness, gifts of learning how to love yourself, learning how to love others, learning how to lovingly look at different people. And once you start re-owning these aspects of yourself, you are going to be a very relationally conscious creator. You're going to go back out into the world and you are going to become this King of Cups person. You're going to become a master of relations, right? You're going to really be conscious in who you are. You're going to re-own a lot of these aspects of yourself, and you're going to go out into the world, and instead of the world showing you as a mirror all of these fragments that you need to re-own, the world is now going to look at you in your integrated, more healed self, and you're going to actually be able to tell the difference between integrated people and unintegrated people who are still fragmented and are still in their trauma. And you're going to be able to create conscious relationships with these people, whether romantic or not, right? But conscious relationships with these people. Once you create these conscious relationships, I feel like there is a lot of energy balance that's going to be created from these conscious relationships. Very yin and yang energy. Very good flow between the masculine and the feminine, right? And I'm not talking about like male or female. I'm just talking about the polarity of energies, which we all have. So very tuned in. You can tune into people. You can actually read people. For a lot of you that may have felt very, oh my gosh, like lost or confused, even chaotic in relationships, if you decide to do this work, or if you're doing this work, you're going to actually start becoming incredibly conscious of being able to know where people are at. You're going to be able to read conscious people versus unconscious people, and then you can create very conscious relationships, right? And what a gift for a lot of us, including me, that has relational trauma, and our compass is kind of broken with people, right? We're just attracted to people that we're just attracted to. And then they become like karmic lessons that we have to learn that can be incredibly painful. And this is like, man, if we knew, if our compass was working, we can see which people can actually create these whole relationships. It's going to feel like this very wholesome, it's going to feel like a vibration which makes you feel embodied. It's going to feel like peace, like relief. You're going to feel like you can be yourself around them. You're going to feel like instead of this like hyperactive energy, your body is going to almost like discharge all of this energy, and you're going to feel very embodied around in yourself, but also with these people. That is the healed version of this relational trauma. And I'm in the same boat. So we're all in it together, fam. Okay, we're all figuring this out together. And a lot of you, you're going to have a calling to create these relationships. And hang on. What I'm getting is twofold. What I'm getting is how important it is that we do this inner work and we create these conscious relationships. And on the flip side, I'm getting, this is how it's supposed to be. Once we heal ourselves and we can create these conscious relationships, it's like, we're going to look at these relationships and we're going to be like, oh, what the heck was I thinking? You know? Like, this does not hold a candle to conscious relationships. Conscious relationships, the depth, the level of safety that you can build, the level of intimacy, feeling grounded, feeling in your body, seeing someone for who they are, feeling seen for who you are. When you haven't had this, it's like the most delicious thing in the world. It's like you've been starving, you're in the desert, you're thirsty, you've been starving, and then you actually get a hit of this conscious relationship, what true intimacy can be like, and it is so life-giving. It's like you can never compare it to anything else over here. It's just a new way of living, but what Spirit is telling me is this is how you should be living. This is how you should be living. So now what they're taking me into is the Eight of Wands here. So let me see here. So they're saying that just like the snakes that we're seeing, this is going to be like a snake nest where you're going to have to go in and slowly work on each part of you one at a time. And even though this is work, okay, this is deep work, this is really going to raise the level of awareness of what it means to really know how to raise the next generation of children. Like, now that you know what fragmentation, how much attachment wounds hurt, how much suffering and pain that this fragmentation creates, you guys are gonna, once you heal it, you're gonna learn the importance of how to child rear correctly, how not to give the same wounds to the next generation, how to help the next generation of people, how to even help the same generation of people that are still dealing with this, right? This is really going to bring the level of awareness of the importance of child rearing, the importance of relational bonding, what a child needs, what psychology a child needs, what environment a child needs in order to grow into a more healthy, stable person. Now, I don't think we're going to like fully eradicate fragmentation. Fragmentation is, all right, pile 3, sorry, my phone died, so I'm gonna have to just re-record the continuation of this reading. So where I had left off was that I don't think we're going to be able to completely eradicate fragmentation. Fragmentation is something that we created. Well, we didn't create it, but it's something that we use as a strategy in order to survive our upbringing as children, okay? And from a universal perspective, fragmentation can probably be seen as something which ultimately gives us great benefit once we heal from it. So I'm not saying that like once we heal this, we're going to heal all of fragmentation. I think we'll always have fragmentation to a certain degree. We'll always have parts, etc., etc., until we probably evolve into a higher level of consciousness. And then who knows where we're going to go after that. That's going to be really exciting for like the generations that come after us. But basically what Spirit is saying is the amount of fragmentation that we received, and I'm using we as I'm part of this boat, okay? The fragmentation that we received through relational trauma, pile 3, is a level of fragmentation which really goes beyond what was necessary to integrate and heal. And we have really, I guess, endured a level of relational trauma which has been incredibly heavy. And once we do the inner work, the shadow work, the deep emotional trauma healing, we're going to be able to elevate our consciousness, become integrated and whole and authentic, and be ourselves and be embodied. Be who we are meant to be. And once you learn from this, you gain wisdom, and you're able to go forth and help other people who are encountering this. And again, this is a type of suffering which is incredibly painful. You know, I don't need to tell you guys, pile 3, but for those lucky people that have not encountered relational trauma to the degree that they've actually been able to grow up with a secure attachment, like, I don't know whether they'll ever truly understand, unless they really encounter it, how deep and difficult, complex relational trauma is, and the work that it takes to heal it. I mean, for Spirit to even be like, hey, it's a snake nest, okay? You're gonna need to go through a snake nest to heal this. It's going to be raw. It's going to be challenging. You're gonna have to deal with it one snake at a time to clear it out. Is like, it really gives us a level of understanding of what it's going to take to raise very healthy, securely attached people. And I know I've been using the example of children, but really this can help people at all different, you know, stages of their life. I mean, a lot of people that have encountered relational trauma are still stuck in these immature parts of themselves that never got their needs met, right? And so you can have someone who's in their 40s or 50s or any age that they still have a piece of them stuck at the age of like 5 or 7 or 12, that they never got that resolved, they never got that healing. And so the universe keeps showing them that and bringing people to mirror that. And this is how you can break the cycle and heal, through shadow work. And there's different modalities of shadow work. It's not all one and done. But I would say to look into parts work. That's one of the ways. Voice dialogue, I know, is another way. And there's another modality called Internal Family Systems by Dr. Robert Schwartz. And that's the modality that I have used to do some of this inner healing. So there's plenty of different ways, but you have to find, you know, the modality that works best for you. So moving forward here, I asked Spirit to give me a couple more cards of what's going to happen once we heal. So first we have Guidance of the Panther. I honor my own inner light. I harness my own true power with strength and passion. So what this is really talking about is the integrated version of ourselves. Once, pile 3, we integrate, once we heal, you do the work. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go in and basically clear out all of these snakes, which are covering and masking the true inner light underneath it, because it's still there, right? That's why a lot of channelers, a lot of teachers are like, it's always in you, it's always been in you, you can never get rid of it. And it's true, but when it's been covered up and masked with a lot of trauma, strategies to heal different parts, protect your parts, it's almost like you don't even have awareness of it at all, right? So when you start healing, you're going to actually be able to tap into that inner power, your channel, your soul. And all of these fragments, you're going to heal one by one, and it's going to clear up your soul energy stream, and you're going to be more aligned. And that's what a lot of us that have been lost around relationships have always kind of wanted. I mean, I'm speaking from my own experience, but for those people that have felt like their compass is broken in relationships, and they feel like they don't fully know themselves, and they know what they want, but they're still split. And why don't they know themselves more, and why can't they just heal, and why are they attracting the same people in their life? And it's like, it's because when you don't do the inner work, and many people don't even know how to do it, when you don't do the inner work, you don't heal it, you keep attracting it. And so once you clear it, you heal it, you become more integrated, you have that soul power, that stream of consciousness, which is authentically you underneath it, and it comes to the surface, and it's pretty amazing. It helps you differentiate between the different types of people. You can start to differentiate, right? Who is still traumatized and who is healing, who is on their healing journey, because you have better context, because you're clearing up your own mirror, right? So the reflection in the world will also clear up to you. You're going to get more clarity. You're going to get more awareness of yourself, awareness of others. You may even become incredibly intuitive once you're able to do this. And then the second part of this is, I harness my own true power with strength and passion. So, when you start healing and you start tapping into your true authenticity and your authentic power and who you're really meant to be, you're able to focus and create out of that. And you're able to have more of an impact. You're able to see the results more fully. It's less scattered. It's like when you use kind of scattered energy to create, you kind of get scattered results, right? Unless you're lucky or there's some sort of, other people helping you or whatnot. But once you start getting aligned energy focused, you're going to start getting feedback and reflections that are also clear and focused, returned back to you. And I think that's what this other card here, which is going to be our North Star, is. It's about creation. Once we're able to heal ourselves and we tap into this fully healed, I mean, this is talk about a powerful spirit animal here, the panther, right? Once we can tap into this, which is our true power, our true essence, we're able to channel our energy to focus and create what we really want in life. And in this case, for us, pile 3, we are looking at creating security, a home life, stability. I'm telling you, for pile 3, this is going to probably be around conscious relationships and bonding and families and networks, but it can also come through security, through finances, building a home, security, creating very tangible things in life, like a job that is fulfilling, because we know who we are. We're more authentic. We can go and find those things that mirror back our authenticity. And that is what a lot of people that have been fragmented and been split, our compass is broken. So we're still trying to find it. So if you still feel like lost and limbo, and you start to see the patterns, you're like, okay, if I heal, there is a way that I can use my healed self to focus and creation energy to start creating what I actually consciously want and need, which is safety in relationships, a safe home life, a place to come home to, belonging, right? And this is something that we can hold as our like guiding light, because this work is not easy. Shadow work, healing inner children, healing fragmentation, it is a challenging burden to bear. So I've asked Spirit to give me 2 more cards to help illuminate more of what we need to know and guidance on this for pile 3. And actually, I think the Emperor was first. So what we have here is the reversed Emperor and the reversed 9 of Pentacles. So what pops out to me with the reversed Emperor is misaligned masculine energy. And I'm not talking about males or females. I'm talking about the masculine and the feminine. So the yin and the yang. So with masculine energy that's reversed, it's usually an unbalanced masculine energy that was created out of a need of self-perfection, out of a need of self-protection due to suffering or a feeling of unsafety. This is controlling behaviors, controlling dynamics. This can be arrogance. I think this card is really representing a lot of our protector personalities. So when you're encountering different experiences when you're growing up and they can be traumatic, what you do is your consciousness creates these protector personalities to come out and to self-preserve in these different situations. And your protector personalities, which are different sides of you, can come off and be very strong. They can also be, inner children, but they can be also very unbalanced, and they're trying to protect you in any way they know how. And so when this masculine energy is imbalanced, then the feminine energy will also be imbalanced, right? It's a balance, it's a polarity between the yin and the yang. So I think for a lot of people, for a lot of us pile 3, we have these protector parts that we have created as a strategy to survive experiences and relationships of unsafety, where we felt out of control. We didn't know whether we felt a belonging, whether we were going to be abandoned, whether we were even truly loved or seen. And so we created who we needed to create within us to get our needs met. And for many of us who are now grown up, we still have these protector personalities around. My protector personality, well, I'm a disorganized attachment, but one of my sides is an avoidant side. It is this like very independent, I don't need no one side, right? And I think that is where the reading is moving to, this 9 of Pentacles, because the upright 9 of Pentacles, it's about a very healthy, independent person who is living a very good life, a very structured, successful life. And they're happy being alone. They feel fulfilled, they feel whole. But in the reversed, this can be someone who puts on, a strong front. Like, yes, I'm independent. Now, maybe a lot of people even will say, wow, you're so strong, you're so independent, you're so capable, but really when they, lift the hood of the car and they look underneath it, it's like that was created out of trauma. Not all of us want to be independent and be alone forever. We want to have our needs met. We are social creatures. We just want a balance between autonomy and belonging. We want that middle ground. We want to be able to balance that and get our needs met. And these two together, these 2 reversed cards, really indicate a survival strategy that we are still trying to employ, because not all of these inner traumas have been healed. So we're still operating out of this. And, if you resonate with this, then just know that you're becoming aware, you are aware, you're starting to heal it, or maybe you've been doing the work and you're healing yourself. And then slowly these persona parts of us are going to start to become unburdened, and they're going to be able to heal and to integrate, and they're going to be freed from strategizing. How can I survive? What do I need to do to get my needs met? How can I do this? How can I be more independent? How can I be more loving? And it's like a lot of these parts are operating out of this very old programming, you know, trying to figure out how to get our needs met, and it's not working. It's not working for many of us. So once we heal, and once we are able to consciously create out of our healed self, these protector parts, these personas, these old behaviors and programs inside of ourselves, they're going to be unburdened and released. And then what we can look forward to is healthy dynamics, healthy relationships, consciously being able to create the home life. Right here, I keep pointing to this. This is the home in the distant future, right? This is what we want. We want to build a safety structure, a home life. We want something that's tangible. Like the Ace of Pentacles is tangible. It's earth energy. It's in the physical. We want to be able to come home. We want to be able to feel safe and get a sense of belonging. And once we're able to unburden these sides of us and really rebalance the masculine and the feminine within us, and create a sense of balance between our own autonomy and our own need and sense of belonging, and to go out there and to be brave and to create that with other human beings, we're going to be able to consciously create this life that we've always been craving for, right? So that's a lot, but it's a beautiful journey. It's a hard journey. It's a beautiful journey. And I just want to say to all of you pile 3, you guys are warriors. This is not for the faint of heart. And my heart really goes out to a lot of you and a lot of us that are dealing with this and having to heal this now. And we're doing good. We have to keep going, and we have a bright future ahead of us. So if you're in limbo, you're still trying to figure it out, you're on this journey, just keep doing the inner work, keep healing, and that new life is going to be attainable. We're going to be finally able to consciously create it and live in that, you know, world, live in that new reality of feeling safe in our bodies and in the world again with other people. And that's what we need. That's what most of us need. So thank you so much, pile 3. I hope this reading helped you. You guys are amazing, and keep doing the hard work, and have a great rest of your day, and keep being beautiful. Shine bright, everyone. All right, bye everyone.